second round is officially set. So it's Suns, Denver, and Suns got the first win. And it's Warriors, Lakers.
Yep.
And that begins tomorrow on Monday. In the East, you got Celtics,
Tuesday.
Boston. Huh? Tuesday,
Warriors, Lakers,
sorry.
Tuesday.
Yes, Warriors, Lakers, Tuesday. My bad. It is Sunday today. You have Celtics, Philly, and they play, I think, their game 1 tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Or are they Tuesday as well?
Or
are they Tuesday as well? Let's see. Who's playing? Yeah, they have their game 1 tomorrow night. And then you have Knicks, Miami, who played today, and the Heat took that game 1. So we already have some games already in some of these series. So game 1 of Warriors Lakers is on Tuesday. Right now, the Lakers are the underdogs in that series. So I think I saw they're like I don't know anything about the betting, but I think it's minus 164. What that mean?
For the Warriors?
Warriors open as minus 164 favorites to advance to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, it's like a slight favorite.
Slight favorite?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and their line for the first game is minus 4.5, so Vegas expects them to win by like 5 points, around that much. So we'll see.
The Lakers are going to come in rested. The Lakers are going to come in very rested. They're going to come in very rested, right? Now, Steph is, we know, the best conditioned athlete in the league. So I think he can handle it. But this would be great for like his teammates to kind of hold him down for this first game, since, they're going to be home. They're going to have the crowd behind them. And I feel like this is a chance, I'm hoping, for a redemption series for Jordan Poole. That's what I'm hoping for. He typically, granted, this is like a new look Lakers, but he typically plays well against the Lakers. Maybe some of the whole, I know if he's not seeing it, he hears it, because those dudes hear everything from social media. So I know he's hearing all the Reeves talk and, all of that kind of stuff. So I don't want it to get into his head that he's making foolish mistakes, but I'm hoping he could take that and use it to motivate him to, get back to being Jordan, And so, this should also be a better series for Dante. Like you said, it should be a better series for Kuminga. I think Moody has proven himself. I think he's worked himself in to the playoff rotation. So we thought we only had 9 guys, and we have 10.
Right.
I imagine Joku is going to get a second shot. I don't think he's benched for the rest of the playoffs, right? So you back to like, Poole, GP2, Dante, Kuminga, Moody, And if they keep going and can make a deep run, you may even get Andre back.
Right. Yeah, they're in a decent spot right now. I definitely think I agree with you with the role players and the younger guys having more of an opportunity. This team does not run as complex of actions as the Kings do. They do not know the Warriors' actions like the back of their hand, like Mike Brown does. You can scout and all that, but it's different when you've actually been on the staff. So I think, I won't say this is an easier matchup, but it's a different type of matchup where more guys are playable. And you're gonna have to lean into some of that youth to run the Lakers a little bit, especially off the second unit. And yeah, I like their chances.
And y'all got home court. Imagine finishing what they did and getting a home court round in the playoffs. That's incredible.
It's refreshing. It's like, okay, you can breathe a little bit. Like, you can't breathe, but it's like, it's different than going into another arena back to back to back to back. Like, if they'd had to go from Sacramento to LA, that would have been a little bit different feeling than going right back up to the road to Chase Center. First game off an amazing win. Hopefully they can take this momentum and just kind of push them into this series, because, like you said, the Lakers going to be rested and they're going to try to punch him in the mouth game one. So, got to set the tone.
For sure. No more feel out games.
Right.
I don't think Bron trying to play that with the Warriors.
Right. He going to try to go for it off the rip. He got that rest in. We're going to see how it works on that foot. But, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Kuminga on LeBron.
Yeah. Not Wiggs.
Oh, Wiggs for sure. Wiggs majority of the game, but I think Kuminga will get some stints out there. Guarding LeBron, guarding Rui. And these guys are like, very ball dominant wing power forward type players. So he should be able to, hold his own against them. He's going to have to match their physicality though, for sure. And that's going to be the swing factor, whether or not he gets a lot of minutes or a little bit, because if he can do that, then his athleticism should shine through. But he can't get killed on the boards. He can't get out hustled and all that type of stuff. So hopefully all the pep talks that Andre and Steph have been giving him on the sidelines after the games are hitting home, because they're going to need him. They're going to need his size and athleticism next round.
So can you talk a little bit, Justin, about the guard matchups in this? Because Lakers guards are sort of food. Yeah.
They are food. We saw against the Grizzlies, they're food. The Grizzlies don't even have like a ton of super skilled guards. Like they got Bane. Obviously Jaw's amazing, but he's not Steph. Bane is pretty good, but he's not Clay. Kennard is okay. So I think, like you said, this could be a good series for Jordan to get his feet back under him, because we got to give the Kings guards credit. They held their own defensively, staying in front, rotating and all that type of stuff. The Kings defense was really, sad on the inside. That's kind of where they lost it. So, I mean, they got D'Angelo, Reeves, Beasley, Schroeder. I feel like I'm leaving somebody out.
Schroeder can sometimes be decent defensively.
Yeah, he's like a Terrence Davis, Davion Mitchell. I'm gonna pressure you 94 feet. If they put him on Steph, he's food. Anybody they put on Steph is food. So unless he's guarding somebody like Jordan or something like that, where he can actually make an impact on them, I'm not really worried about Dennis Schroeder.
Who do you think they are putting on Steph?
Maybe Vanderbilt to start, which he's also food. But he's just so high energy, he can just kind of luck up into a few lucky plays. And if Steph is playing with his food, then we can see a few of those plays going towards the Lakers. But yeah, I think they'll start Vando on him. I got a strange feeling they'll do something like put LeBron on Looney, just so he can like rebound and put AD on Draymond, Vando on Steph, and then have Reeves and D'Angelo Russell just match up with Wiggins and Clay. I don't know. They could get a little weird with it, because we know AD likes to park himself in the paint when he's playing the Warriors and let Draymond just have all that space. But Steve just got to get creative with that. So I think it should be a good series. But just like against the Kings, if the Warriors take care of business, don't turn it over, equal possessions or more, they should win this series in about 5 or 6 games.
Yeah. I mean, like the Lakers, their home court advantage is pretty good. So like to me, I mean, I'm not in the mood for no other 7-game series. So I feel like y'all just got to do it in 5. And it's interesting because people were just expecting this epic series. And I'm like, maybe the epic series was really just the Kings. Like the Warriors may have played their hardest matchup to start. And so I don't know if that's good or bad, in the sense of like bad that it's hired them out, or good that like it got them sharp, right? Like they had to like get through that and kind of, so it may help them that they went through what I think, not that like not to like disrespect the greatness of LeBron and AD as a duo, or even potentially who they may play in the later rounds. But I don't think there's another team that can challenge them in that way.
Yeah.
That's remaining.
It just, like you said. Right.
I think there are some teams
that can not in the same way.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some teams that could get them to 6. And I also think a lot of that is due to like the other teams having home court advantage, to be honest, like, and then like a team like Denver has like the altitude advantage. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to like overreact to game one, but I ain't sold on the Suns. So you may be right about the Suns not making it past the second round. I mean, I think I picked Denver in 7, but like they handled the Suns pretty handedly.
Yeah, they were up 20 at one point, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about that series. It's a weird series to me. So again, I don't want to look too far ahead, but like they really can beat the Lakers in 5. And that's what I'd like them to do. They can.
I would like them to do that as well. Yeah. I'm going to predict, I mean, if we're doing the preview, I'm going to predict 6, which, I mean, I predicted 6 for the first one and win 7.
You think they're going into Staples, I will not call it that new name, and they're going to win a game 6 on the road?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. I think they need to do it in 5.
That would be great. That would be great because I see that Denver series going 7. And if the Warriors can beat the Lakers in 5, then Denver and Warriors will have the same amount of games on their legs going into the conference finals. So that would be ideal.
You think that would go 7 games, Denver?
Yeah. I think that's going 7. I'm going to take Denver in 7, though.
Are you talking about the Suns?
Yeah, Denver and the Suns. Yeah, I think that's going 7.
Okay. I'm like, you think the Denver's taking the Warriors 7 games?
No.
Because
yeah.
When you said I'm taking Denver, that sounds like, oh wait, no, you're not talking about Denver. Okay.
Oh nah. Yeah, because Denver won their first round series in 5. So if the Warriors can win their second round series in 5, while they go to 7, they'll both have 12 games under their belt before they got to the conference finals. Yeah, and we'll talk about that if we get to that point.
If we get there, yeah. And I think that might balance out like the little rest time and stuff. It was interesting. The Suns went to Denver early to try to adjust to the altitude. I don't know if it helped them that much, but so I don't know if that's something the Warriors would do if they like end early, but I think it's really, really imperative. I'm sure LeBron's telling them like, look, just don't get fooled by them wins we had during the season. This team is not like the Grizzlies. I'm sure he's telling them everything, but it's like, you can say all that stuff and, prepare. And then like, when you finally go through it, you're like, shit, it's just not what you think it is. And like, honestly, the Lakers haven't had to really face a good team since they've been the new Lakers. They played some like fake teams and teams that were not that good, and teams, I mean, the Jazz were still giving them a difficult time to win games, So, and also, I mean, at least from what I saw, they did go into Memphis and they stole a game, but they also, for the most part, just played great at home and not so great in Memphis, so they're capable of winning on the road for sure. But I'm not as impressed with what they did to the Grizzlies as like others are, because it's like the Grizzlies were missing players. They're also not that good of a team, and we know that.
Right. I mean, the Grizzlies, like you just said, the Grizzlies, no Brandon Clark, who was huge for them off the bench, scoring and his physicality, his rebounding. Steven Adams, obviously. Offensive rebounding, screen setting, passing, all the things that he does well. Ja was compromised. He missed a game in the series, right?
He did, but the Grizzlies won that game.
Okay, yeah, the Grizzlies did win that game, but he was compromised for a portion of the series. Luke Kennard, who was huge for them in their Game 5 win, just shoulders
done.
Didn't
play the last game. I forgot he was out in that last game too.
Exactly. So
I mean, they probably would have still lost, but also part of the reason why it was such a blowout.
Right. Dylan Brooks completely shit his pants. He's not good. So, I mean, like, you got Xavier Tillman trying to play one-on-one defense against LeBron James in high leverage situations. Like, okay, just good win for the Lakers, but you're gonna have to prove it to me. I just, like you said, I haven't seen them consistently dominate good teams or play well against good teams since the trade deadline. So if they real, they're gonna prove it now. But I haven't seen it yet for me
And
to be like,
Anthony
yeah,
Davis hasn't been able to put in consistent, like, dominant games.
for sure. And we know how Draymond Green plays him.
And now it's going
Historically,
to be
he's
a
played
series
him
where
really
they're
well.
playing every other night. They not, they gonna be rested for this first game, but then after that, it's every other night.
Right.
And to be honest, and I don't know if people are gonna say, well, Braun was saving himself, because one of the big things of this last series was like he can rely on his others, but you're not gonna be able to rely on the others as much, I don't think, in this series. So it's just like, can you summon LeBron, every other night? He couldn't do that during the season. He could, like, I just don't know if that's there. I know he can summon it like once every 2 or 3 games.
Right. I mean, even AD, like you said, even AD, like I'm just looking at their game logs right now. Like in this series, AD 22 points and then 13 and then 31 and then 12 and then 31 and then 16.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
they were blowing.
inconsistent. He was
Right.
inconsistent.
I just think it's a health
And that's versus the
thing.
Grizzlies.
Right. It's a health thing. It's a age thing. I just don't know with LeBron and AD how many good games they can put together consecutively in a series against a good team locked in with the championship pedigree that the Warriors have, and the amount of tape they have against AD and LeBron in the playoffs. I got to see it. I got to see it. And if the Warriors lose to D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves while containing LeBron and AD, then it's like, all right, then do you tip your hat? But I
But
can't
even
see
those
that
guys,
happening.
they weren't having an impact in every game too. They did what role players
They
did. They were better at home.
Right. I'm saying, yeah, the unlikely scenario of them getting
Right.
cooked by
I
Austin
hear
Reeves
you.
and D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, tip your hat to that. But I truly believe AD and LeBron have to be dominant for this entire series for them to beat the Warriors 4 times without home court advantage. And I just got to see that they're capable of doing that at this point in their careers, because I'm skeptical of it.
So your official pick is Dubs in 6?
Yeah, only because I'm giving grace to them. I really want to say 5 because they got home court advantage. Like, you win all your home games and still win on the road. But those two guys are capable of elevating themselves to a level where they can definitely win more than just one game in a series. So I'm gonna just say Warriors in
So
6.
do you think, if you're saying in 6, are you thinking they're both, like, the Warriors are splitting and then they go to LA and split, or do you think both teams just win their home games for the first 4?
I don't know how it's gonna go. I think the more likely scenario is the second one, though. No, I think actually because they don't got that rest that the Lakers got. I think they can split the first, split in Chase, split in Staples or Crypto, and then the Warriors win the next 2. But it's also a good chance they win in 5 games. I don't know. We're just gonna have to see.
Well, I'm just going to continue. I don't care. Last year, I was perfect. This year, I don't care if I'm not, but I'm going to still go Warriors in 5. I really do think starting
All
on the
right.
home is the difference in the series. I do.
I feel you.
I do. I really do believe that. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm Warriors in 5. That's what I'm going with. And I'm unlike the Kings, who I think I always said this, but people, it doesn't matter. Once they hear 5, they think you don't respect the team. But I always said I thought the Kings were just going to be a tough series. It's just like, even before the Kings are what they are now, they always played the Warriors tough. Like, the games were always close. It was always something about that team. And so when you add to it, like, Mike Brown being the coach, and, they're just like, I thought it was going to be challenging, even if it was like a 5-game series. So, but I did think like their inexperience would show through a little more than it did, and it just did not. That's really what I was banking on. But I waffled back and forth between 5 and 6. I don't think it should have gone to 7 games. I thought that series should have ended in 6, but yeah, I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I kind of had a little bit more belief in what the Kings can do than I do the Lakers.
Hey, I feel you.
It's just the Lakers, I get it. They have the names, but it's just like, I don't know. It's very similar to the way I felt about Steph back in like 2013. I'm like, this team is coming. People don't see, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the Lakers are all high in their fans and they think, they're like, oh yeah, like we have a new team and we're super. I don't think the Lakers are that good.
Right. I also think the Warriors are a bad matchup for the Lakers. I think the Lakers are a better matchup for the Warriors than the Kings are. And I think that's going to make a difference. So it's just like the Lakers' best players are, established super duper stars, whereas the Kings' best player is De'Aaron Fox, who's on the up and coming, and Malik Monk was their second most, So you look at LeBron and AD, you say, okay, they're clearly above De'Aaron Fox and Monk. But other than that, everything screams Kings tougher matchup than the Lakers, right? That's literally the only difference. The only way people are saying, the Lakers could beat the Warriors is because they have LeBron and AD. Outside of that, the way they play, the rest of the players on their team, the coaching, the inexperience, the fact that they are a lower seed, all this stuff is pointing to advantage Warriors. But people are kind of hesitant because it's LeBron and AD.
Right.
And because the Warriors
give LeBron, I ain't even worried about AD, but you give LeBron that respect because he's LeBron.
Right. And because the Warriors, quote unquote, struggle to get out of that first round series against the Kings. So it looks like the Warriors got some chinks in their armor. In the road. In that. Right.
Well, listen. LeBron knows. He knows. And I know he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that they know and don't go in sleeping.
Right. But he can't play for them.
No.
he can't put his brain in D'Angelo Russell's body.
The thing about it is, though, the players all know. That's why I always laugh when people say, like, don't, no one fears the Warriors. They don't care. Bro, the Celtics, like I said, during the regular season, that game at home, they played Tatum almost the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Dudes come off
even
injury, in the finals, come back and play against the Warriors.
Even in the finals, them boys was shook. Like Jaylen Brown started off that series not shook. He was going at Draymond and he was spearheading the runs for them and all that type of stuff. 4, 5, and 6, or after Game 4 specifically. When it became clear, that this dude was on another planet from them, then it was like, oh shit. So it's inevitable.
Was so funny when Tatum in his post game was like, "We're trying to stop him." He's like, "Guys, we're really trying."
Helpless. Completely helpless.
I just love him, and I love Fox because like. They don't some of the other teams we play and I get it, like you don't have to be like all deferential and praising the Warriors and stuff, but they don't act like dickheads about it, like
right, like Dylan Brooks and shit.
Yeah, like Fox in his post game was like, I know there's still another level for me to get to and that we need to get to as a team. He's like, Steph is one of the greatest of all time, and just, like understanding that like he has to still get to another level as a player. Like he understands that he's not in that top echelon yet. Right. Mm-hmm. And I just think that's such great perspective, That's why I just feel like he has it. He has the right mindset. He gets it. It's not just skill and ability, but it's just he just has the quality to me. It's there.
Definitely. I mean, after game one, he immediately said, look, Steph's probably the best player in the world. Monk agreed with him. Then after game 2 or so, he said Draymond's the best defensive anchor in the league. Like he understands like there isn't no power, like tug of power dynamic with him where he's trying to do this weird stuff, downplaying his competition. He understands how good his competition is, and he's trying to elevate himself to get up there. He got the competitive fire. You can see that passion coming out when he's arguing with reps and getting into it with Draymond and stuff like that. And he got the game to back it up. He got all the counters. He can hit the midi, get to the rim, hit the three. He plays defense. Like
up to
the
free
sky's
throws.
definitely limit.
Yeah.
Right. Sky's
Dre,
the limit. He didn't have a great game, but
about him too in the post game. And you know, Dre, he don't respect everyone. And he was just like, no. He's one of them ones. You know, it's like you know it when you see it and you recognize it. Right. And like, so people just thought we were hating on the Grizzlies and Ja. It's like these dudes ain't ready, yo.
Right.
They think they can shortcut it and shortchange it. And nah.
You don't hear none of that weird dynasty stuff coming from the Kings and trying to jump the gun. I don't respect people till they give me 40. Like, bro, that type of stuff is so corny. It's weak. It's clearly insecurity trying to come through. And then when it's your time to show up on the court, you fold like a lawn chair. Right.
And like, I wouldn't even mind if you said that kind of stuff. But then, like you said, you fold like a lawn chair. You don't back it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when the Warriors lost to the Clippers in that game 7, and Draymond, like, he had made a comment like, who are the Clippers? Like, they ain't beat no one. They ain't done nothing. People like, well, Dre, they beat y'all. But like, they didn't respect it because they know they could have won that game. They like, to me, when you're going to game 7s, and I know because this seems like we're backtracking off of like, or I'm backtracking off of what I just said about the Kings. But like, when you go to a game 7 with a team, usually that means the teams are pretty evenly matched. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not no, you know, in that game 7, like there was an injury and like it was like a single possession. Like it was a few points. Like it wasn't like this massive, you know? And so, and I remember in their first run to the championship, I just always remember AD saying how like Dre was like, oh, this y'all practice for us. This first round and stuff. But I mean, come on, they just knew like they had won 67 games. They were just a superior team to the Pelicans. But like, Dre wasn't yet going out and publicly saying those things. It was like the trash talk they were doing,
right?
You know, behind the scenes. But he also backed it up. It's like, Brooks, like you don't have the game to back this up, but you talking, you know what I'm saying? And Ja, you like, you know, like, and look, I get it. You should be fearless, you're whatever, but like, you know, you talking about Steph can't win without KD. You don't even know how to win. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just being wild, disrespectful. And it's just like, yeah, y'all continue to disrespect legends and stuff like that. You better back it up. And they couldn't, you know? Yep. They couldn't. Ja, you haven't even elevated your game to where it needs to be doing that. And so it's just like, look, they had some rough lessons this year. And apparently he said, you know, I don't like the word humble. So I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but I thought I saw that was the quote, but like that he's going to be a little bit more humble and like kind of tone down the stuff they're saying. And he feels like if he does it, then the rest of the team will follow. Of course they will. Right. Because he was part of leading the charge for it. That's why I said when everyone was killing Dylan, I'm like, but Dylan's doing that because it was enabled by like Ja, right? And he was doing it. That's why. You know, if Ja would have shut that down from the beginning as their leader, them other guys wouldn't have been chirping like that.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, they took on his persona.
Yeah. So, you know, I have great respect for the Kings. I really do. And I think they're up and coming. And so, you know, again, because I know people think I'm just a LeBron hater and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Like, I don't know this. And look, I could be wrong because, look, I totally misread the Kings in terms of like how far they could push it. I mean, you still thought the Kings were a fine matchup and that they should win, but you did say this earlier. I want to say it was like mid-year when Wiggins was out and like why you had sort of preferred the Grizzlies because you're just like, you know, We don't know what Andrew's going to look like when he's coming back and having to like deal with Fox, and that team plays fast and they can like go on scoring. You pointed out a lot of this stuff, but I was just still like, I don't want them to have to travel, and the Grizzlies hurt people. And,
my those are fair points.
Huh?
No, I'm saying those are valid points.
Yeah, it was just like, but it wasn't necessarily like the basketball on the court. It was sort of like those external factors where I was just like, plus I did think they would like the Warriors would have more like fans there. Like I just thought there were some things, and credit to their fan base. I mean, I think in game 5 they said that there were more Warriors fans in the building, like a lot more, but credit to their fan base. I mean, Kenny came on here and he told us, he said, nah, that's not going to happen. And, they held their team down, and just a lot of things, their defense, they played better defense. Monk showed he is like probably their second best player. Or at a minimum, their second most important player, if you want to think of him as like a Draymond type of thing, but he embarrassed our bench. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he did. I mean,
I think that was just, he had the better bench, and you couldn't tell from that series.
Not at all. Could not tell it. I mean, they pretty much neutralized Jordan that series if he didn't neutralize himself. Jonathan had a very short leash, and I think them not going all in game 1 and playing Steph those minutes and stuff like that kind of it sealed Jonathan's fate, because from that point on it became every game is a must win. So you can't afford to play Jonathan out there. But yeah, 2 of our more important bench pieces got completely taken out. Dante was another one that got completely taken out.
Yeah.
And
then Gary Payton was ill, and then whatever, and it took forever for Kerr to like play him. So, I mean, the surprise and I guess the great thing in all of that is Moody. But, like, I mean, there were definitely things that Kenny came on here and told us, and he was right about. And there were things that we were right about. And I think both sides learned that about each other, So it's very possible that I'm underestimating the Lakers, but I don't know. They don't move me. And so that was a long roundabout way to say, yeah, I'm going to go Warriors in 5.
I'm not disputing that.
Ultimately, I think the Warriors win the series, barring injury. I feel like nowadays you got to say that, because people are like, oh, like, bro, like all of these things are always assuming you can make it through without the injuries, So, barring injuries, I think, the Warriors will win. And I think this was good. I mean, they got a tough matchup out the way. Hopefully that helped them get their mental focus up. I don't know. Steph went in tonight clear with the task at hand and what he needed to do. But at the end of the day, I still don't think anyone wants to and finds it ideal to be in a game 7 win or go home situation. So hopefully being pushed like that in the first round, I just think with LeBron being on the other end, I'm hoping that will just make them take it more seriously.
And that was another reason why I wanted them to see Memphis in the first round, because they were going to take that team seriously because they got the history with them. And what I was kind of expecting was them to not take the Kings as seriously, and that's what happened. And it went longer than it should have because they didn't take the Kings seriously, and the Kings were too good to not be taken seriously. But you see LeBron and Anthony Davis on the other end. I know they're going to be on their P's and Q's. And yeah, so we should get a locked-in team from them from the jump.
Hope so. And our youngins, y'all better muster some energy. Role players, everybody, y'all owe Steph. Y'all owe him a game. Yeah. So don't let him have to get fired out.
Yeah, they need to bring that Looney energy for the entire series. Dante, JP, Moody, JK, Gary, they got to be like how Trey Lyles and Terrence Davis, all those dudes, just in Davion Mitchell, just in the game just to bring energy. That's how they got to be, because the Lakers don't want to play that type of style. They don't want to play fast.
No, they saying Reeves better than you, Poole. Go. I want you to cross them up a few times. You know what I'm saying? Cross them up a few times and go get yours.
Yep. We need JP to come through. He got to get into that midi because AD is waiting for him at the rim. So we need those mid-range pull-ups. He hit a few good jumpers today, right? When he settles in, and they said it on broadcast. When he settles in and takes a good shot with his feet set, he's a good shooter. But when he takes those fallaways like he's Steph and Clay,
always
no bueno.
I just feel like they got to take the decision-making power away from him in this series. Like, maybe not in this series, but like to me, that was the difference. Because like when Steph was setting him up and creating for him, and he was much better, you know. And he did have a couple shots because like when you like that drive to the rim where you had no shot and you went up against three guys, that's why that resulted in what happened. But then there was like another play, you came back, you got, like you said, he got his feet set, took a shot, and it went in. It's just like, Jordan, like, we know you can shoot the ball, you know what I'm saying? But like, you got to be smarter about the shots you're taking. And I like, that's really what it is. And I just feel when he's left up to his own, I have to make the decisions. I got to create. Am I creating for myself or I'm creating for others? It just right now feels like it's too much for him. It feels like it's too much.
Yeah.
So if they take that away, you know, that's why I was just like, I mean, he's not always going to be on the court with Steph, but if you have him in lineups where others can like set him up or take some of that off of him, so it's not always him, you know, I think you can get a more effective Jordan. Maybe get some of his confidence back.
I agree. So this should be a series where he can kind of do that. They are a good defensive team and they got size, but it's just going to be a different look than the Kings. So maybe this is the look that fits his game a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the middies. You know, he is probably gonna shoot more outside shots just because like there is an actual true rim protector waiting for him at the rim, and he already sometimes tries to avoid contact. So, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. So it should be fun. It's gonna be epic and toxic on the timeline. Another reason why I want it to be a short series. Just please, let's get it over with.
Yeah, I got so many of those people from that side blocked and muted already, even before this season even started. So I'm not going to see a lot of it on my timeline, but I know it's going to be hectic out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Justin, I'm going to still go bask in this win. Like, I'm just still like, I'm on a like real mental high. I don't know what I missed in the last hour, but when we went up 3-2, it was like 3-4 in the morning. And I was like, y'all still up? And people were like, yeah, call me. People were still watching highlights. So I know they still going right now. Ain't no other games on. So I know, you know. So I'm gonna go enjoy it with everyone and continue to watch Steph highlights and, you know, just I'm wearing a night shirt. I guess he's not doing night anymore. He's moved on from that, but it's still night.
Did you see the Warriors fan in the crowd?
Yeah.
Like Steph had just hit that shot and the Warriors fan did this and Steph kind of like nodded at him.
Oh, word.
Like it's
I didn't see that.
It's a
I didn't even realize
it's a picture on their
Instagram. Like the beam, because like ESPN put up a video. It was like Steph said like the beam, but I didn't. Did he actually say that, or are they just saying he said that?
They slowed it down. You can see it saying like he either said like the beam or like that mother or something like that. But you can see he said like that. He's a psycho.
Okay.
He's a psycho. All that like Kobe, MJ stuff that people talk about, trash talk, and Steph. He right there with them with that.
And the way he was smiling too with the free throws, he looks so psychotic with the thing hanging out. And doing the electric slide before the game. I'm like, yo, this man has Dumb Nation like melting down, frantic, and he's just like, taste like candy. And, like literally, that's what they're playing. He's out there doing electric slide. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He had the script. He had the script ahead of time.
Oh, son, so did Ticketmaster, because did you see that?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Game one, they knew.
Yeah, like wow, Ticketmaster.
Crazy.
It was the
Crazy.
series everybody wanted. So we here now.
Finally got it. Finally got it.
We
Excited.
here now. Y'all, thanks for tuning in with us. This is I hope, because people were like, what time's the pod? What time's it dropping? So we done. I hope it meets expectations. Yeah, you know, but it's been fun. It's been real. Just tremendous. Just tremendous. Just a tremendous night. Just again, like I said, I'm so honored and blessed to like just be a fan of this team and to witness the greatness. Witnessing greatness in real time when it happens, there will never be anything like it, because
Nothing close.
just seeing how everyone's reacting and being just right immersed in it. I mean, there's just nothing else like it.
What did Katie say when Dame was going crazy? It's like, this is a spiritual experience. Remember when Dame was going crazy against the Nuggets and Katie tweeted that? That's really how, when you witness stuff like this happen in real time, it's crazy. It's like you said, it's nothing like it. So we've had almost a decade straight of this stuff from these guys, and they ain't done yet. So
no, I mean, it's just, oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, it just tremendous win today, and Dub Nation, enjoy it. Like, I get that we're like eye on the prize, and the prize is the chip, but enjoy the journey too. You know, like we get another opportunity. We're going to the second round. Like, it don't matter what no one said. That Kings team pushed them, they challenged them, and that was tough, and they got out of it. We celebrate that. We get excited about that, and that's okay. We know that's not like the goal, the only goal. We know, like, all right, we got through the first one, but that was some impressive, legendary stuff that we just witnessed.
For sure.
And we don't have to hear any more about Steph not having playoff moments, because my God.
Oh, just listen to this tweet I just saw. Some crazy playoff stats. Steph, most points scored in a game 7, most points scored in an overtime in the playoffs, most points scored in a 4-game sweep, most fourth quarter points ever in a series, and tied for the most points ever in a fourth quarter in the finals. Moments. Man, that's not even half. I got you. That's not even half of the stuff that he's accomplished in the playoffs.
Right. And a lot of that stuff gets overlooked for different reasons, but like these kinds of performances are no longer overlooked, right? Like this, his game 4 last year, where you can just like point out something. Because we would always be like, no, what about when he did this? And people are just, you know, but he always had them.
Yep. Years and years of tape.
Man.
Keep adding to the list. Just keep adding to the list. That's all you're doing. We're going to get a few more in this next series too that we're going to be talking about for years.
Word. All right, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Golden Spaces Pod. Download, leave us a positive review. Give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you share, tell a friend. We appreciate your support.
Don't be leaving no reviews about my voice monotone and all this type of stuff. Come on, man. We talking basketball. Yeah, somebody was on Apple like, his voice is putting me to sleep. I'm like, all right, man. That's crazy, yo. That's really crazy, man.
Are you serious? Now y'all know, y'all heard the instructions. It's leave a positive review.
Gotta be a Twitter hater. It gotta be somebody on Twitter that's just not feeling us. It's cool though.
I did not know someone said that. Shame on you guys. If you don't have anything nice to say, then you don't say it. You say it in your head.
Don't say it.
The instructions are
tweet
only
me
a positive and favorable review. Y'all come from me. Y'all can't be coming for Justin, okay?
Right. At least tweet me. Do it that way. Don't put it on the review. Tweet it at me or DM me.
I hope he was not monotone tonight because Justin been amped and hype lately. So y'all bugging.
Like, come on, man. That's why we gotta do a live watch so they can see the real reactions.
Western Conference Finals, we do a live watch. How about that?
Okay.
I mean, I want to say championship. I want to say finals, but it's like
that too.
We should probably do something before then. I mean, we could still do it then, but I don't know if this Lakers series gets sort of, we'll see. But let's definitely do a live watch for the playoffs. So we do that because I too want to see Justin in his element.
In my element. I got y'all.
I want to see it. I did do the sign off already, but give us a vibe check before we go, Justin.
Oh, we had a 10 now. And then Tuesday, we back at what's the reset? 7? 7.5. Yeah. So on Tuesday, we at 7.5. Right now, we at 10. We just advanced. Gotta be a 10.
All right. Cool.
Gotta be a 10.
Cool. All right. Until next time, y'all. Take care.